You wanna learn how this guy turned into that guy? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is K-Nex, and today we have Ari Ferretta Volume 1 Explain. Let's go!
Headed to the track, I'm really trying to get my bands up. Niggas, they be talking, I just told them get them grams up. Yeah, I got my hands up, yeah, I got bananas. You run up on me, I'ma have them shoot them at your nana.
We start the story with Hajime Nagamo falling in a portal, leaving his world, gasping. He doesn't know what's going on. And then we just turn back the clock previously, so let's get to the actual start. We are now at school. Hajime, he is always late, and everyone always gave him daily stares. His usual group of bullies picked on him, led by Daisuke Hayama. And then after that, this girl named Kaori Shirazaki, she talks to him and she says, "Good morning." Pretty much the class president of everyone. His name's Kuki. Him and his best friend, Ryutaru, and Kaori's best friend, Shirazaki, they come up and they all say hi to Hajime in all different ways. They end up eating with Hajime and he says he wished that they all would get sent to another world. He compliments how the four would make a great party, and you know how it works. You ask the anime gods and you shall receive. A teleportation circle appears on the floor and all the students are teleported away, and Hajime again is falling down, watching his world go away from him as he is sent to another. The students wake up in a church and they are met by the Pope. He explains that they're in a world called Tortoise. There are three races. You got humans, demons, and then demi-humans, who are also called beastmen. The humans and demons specifically, they've been at war for hundreds of years. The Pope tells the kids that they were sent to fight in their war. The teacher, of course, Miss Aiko, she denies that the students take part in any war, because they're all just kids. They find out that probably the only way to return home is to fight. Everyone doesn't want to do it, but then the class leader, Kuki, Hiro of course, he makes a little speech and now everyone's on board. The king and his family then introduce themselves, and the king kisses the Pope's hand. Alright. The students all receive status plates. They get their job assignments, which is in two groups. You got combat and non-combat. Hajime gets the job of synergist, a non-combat job, and his skills are literally much lower than your average human. Keep in mind that all the students are heroes, and they should all have decent stats even though they're all level 1. And this man is literally on the same level as like a 12-year-old child. Kuki, on the other hand, he has much better stats and he's literally commended and praised. Oh, what a show off. 2 weeks later, the students arrive at the Great Orcish Labyrinth, and it's one of the 7 Great Labyrinths. Later that night, Kaori goes to Hajime's room, tells him that she had a dream of him getting hurt. He tells her not to worry and that she can protect him. Kaori then tells Hajime that she has known him since elementary school, even though Hajime has only known him since they've been at high school. After this, the students are done training and they're walking back out of the labyrinth. But all the girls notice a crystal on the wall. Hayama notices that Kaori likes the crystal, so he goes and grabs it, and of course, it's a trap. They now get teleported to a new room much deeper, and they fight a behemoth. Hajime literally carries his entire team on his back, making walls with his skill, letting all his classmates escape. And then as soon as he's the last one walking back, all his students are shooting their spells at the behemoth, but one specific fireball shoots right at our guy Hajime. This whole battle was on a bridge, and the bridge eventually breaks and separates Hajime from the others. Hajime falls down and everyone thinks he is dead now. Kaori is crying, pleading that they go look for him right now. Captain Mel, their trainer, he knocks her unconscious. Shizuku says thanks for that, and then they all take their leave. They get back to a hotel or whatever. Hayama actually walks outside, and he is outside by himself, giggling at Hajime's death. But little does he know, there's an unknown student right behind them, and this person walks out, and they also say that they knew that he was the one who did it. This person offers Hayama to work for them, and he or she, whoever it is, will give Hayama Kaori. You know, getting Kaori, this makes Hayama instantly accept. You know, he was a little reluctant at first, but he's like, nah, I need Kaori, I need her. So he accepts, and now he does odd jobs, things that he would never even do, but they don't really go too deep into that. Now, back to Hajime, he's now deep down in the abyss. He's fighting a man-eating rabbit like 5-year-old me used to do on the Wii.
I feel invisible. It's 100 niggas in the spot. I won't keep going. It's 85 just to walk on.
That rabbit, who was on a kill streak, is now shaking in fear as this other big bear comes and he literally kills the rabbit instantly. So then the bear, he then chops off Hajime's arm, and then Hajime escapes using his synergy skills, and then as he's about to die again, his life flashes again. He's sitting there on the floor laying down, and then this ancient water called ambrosia just literally heals all his wounds. A couple days later, he's in the same exact spot, starving, and he's just rolling around so angry. He's asking himself, why do I have to go through this? Why does it have to be me? Why couldn't it be somebody else? He then ends up manning up, and he says he's going to get home by any means possible, and he will kill anyone that he deems an enemy. Now with his one arm wrapped up, he goes back, he kills 4 wolves and eats their flesh raw. Nice. He feels tremendous pain after this and he drinks ambrosia, but it's literally not helping him. His body is constantly breaking down, healing, over and over and over again. Finally, he goes to sleep. He wakes up. Now he has muscles, he has white hair, and he has red veins. Now keep in mind, no regular humans surviving this. He only survived this because of ambrosia. No ambrosia means quick, painful death. Now, Hajime newly transformed into a half monster and a new set of skills. He makes a gun called Donner, takes down the rabbit, and then he takes down the bear. Back to Kaori. She was asleep for 5 days now, and she thought Hajime's disappearance was another dream. Shizuku tells her it was real, and then Kaori's ready to go and look. Kuki and Ryotaro walk in to check in on her, but then there's a third mysterious figure who's hearing the whole conversation. But Shizuku tells them to go. Now we go back to Hajime again. He's been looking for stairs for days, but then he ends up finding a door. The door has a blonde-haired girl with red eyes, and they're both shocked to see each other. This man just straight up says, "Sorry, I'll just go," as he's walking out, but then the girl says that she was betrayed, and then he ends up freeing her just because he heard that word, betrayal. He asks for her name, and she tells him to make a new one for her to forget the past. He names her after the moon, Yue, and then they end up fighting a strong monster, and she tells him to leave her. He tells her that he hasn't fallen so low to leave her because the enemy is too strong. He's going to fight this and win this together. Yui then takes some of Hajime's blood and then they take out the monster with her powerful magic. Yui then tells Hajime about her past and how there are 7 labyrinths built by Mavericks and that Mavericks were the rebels that tried to destroy the world. Hajime then tells Yui that he plans to go back to his world. She gets upset, but then he says that she can come with. Back to Kuki and all the students. Pretty much half of the students just stopped fighting. There's like, nah, someone died, I'm good. So there's only like a small portion left. Everyone has started to resent Hayama, blaming him for Hajime's death. But Kuki sympathizes with him because Kuki's like a big sweetheart, I guess. Then we go back to Hajime and Yue. They're fighting a 500 dragon, or whatever you want to call this thing in the anime right here. This right here is an abomination, but whatever. Hajime pulls out his new gun, Schlagen, and he takes down 4 of the heads. Hajime, now extremely hurt, Yui pours the ambrosia into his mouth through hers, but he's not waking up. She's crying. And last second, he wakes up, tells her not to cry. And then the last head of the dragon, he's still thugging it out for his homies, but then, packed up. Back at the kingdom again, we got Kuki. He's now having a spar with one of the king's associates because the king is kind of worried about his abilities so far. Kuki spars, and he literally doesn't even get one hit in. It's like this man's straight getting bullied. The associate insults Kuki, and the king says, "Don't be so rude, bro." The Pope figures out that the associate is someone else, and it's Lord Gahard from another nation. Lord Gahard ends up leaving. He goes back to his peoples, and he pretty much says that Kuki's a little baby that couldn't hurt a fly. He's gonna get us all killed. Next day, Gahard sees everyone off. He asks Shizuku to be his mistress. She declines, of course. He snickers at Kuki, and then he leaves. Now, back to Hajime again. Hajime wakes up in a bed next to Yui, and he's squeezing something small over and over and over. Yui wakes up afterwards and tells him that she brought him to the Mavericks lair, and they're both just chilling there, naked. They explore the lair, and then they find a dead skeleton on a chair in a robe. A magic circle appears showing them a video of everything they had just done, and then there's another video of Oscar Orcus, the leader of the labyrinth, congratulating them for beating his trial, and he goes on to say that the Mavericks were not rebels, and how back then every country had its own god and their own people, and then they would fight anybody else who believed in any other god. To put an end to the fighting, a team of people all went together, and they all had one thing in common, that they were all direct descendants of gods. Their leader learned that the gods were playing with lives like a chess game, and he wanted it to stop. The leader grabbed the 7 most powerful, and they made a trip to Asgard, the home of the gods. The gods made all the humans fight them, and the liberators were trying to protect humans, so they couldn't do it. 7 descendants, they admitted defeat, and then they scattered to the end of the earth and all made labyrinth. They wanted whoever cleared them to take their powers and fight the gods again. Yui asks Hajime what is he gonna do, and he says nothing, that is the world's problem, not his. Hajime then receives Oscar's powers to make artifacts that are no longer on earth, and you learn that Oscar had the same job as Hajime, synergist. They grab a book that tells them about the other labyrinths, and then Hajime thinks that the labyrinths might help him get back home. Later on, Hajime ends up taking a bath, and Yui joins him. He tells her to cover her up, but she simply says that he wants her to see. Hajime is speechless, and she teases him the whole bath. Moments after that, they end up doing a bam wham, and then they promise to protect each other. The epilogue shows a bunny girl in a ravine who says she has to protect her family, and she has to make it to a certain future to meet a certain person. She then screams and says, "I'm not tasty, don't eat me," and then that is the end of Art Forever Volume 1. Let me know if you enjoyed the video, if there's anything important that I missed, and subscribe for the rest of the books. I'm KNX, and I'm gonna catch you on Volume 2. Let's go!